In the ship recycling district of India, in the villages along Sosia in the state of Gujarat, almost every single piece of the ship is reused or recycled, and only about 2% ends up as waste. In comparison, in the Western world, anything that is not an easily recyclable metal part becomes waste, around 10 to 30%. The downstream market in Along Sosia and the nearest town of Bhavnagar employs about 20,000 people. About 5,000 of these are women. Steel, the main volume and the highest treasured material, is re-rolled, re-melted, or directly made into other products. Metal is separated from other materials and sorted at specialized facilities, but even the residual parts that contain only small fractions of metal will be utilized. A large portion of these residual parts are electrical components, and they will reach the lowest level of downstream ship recycling workers. These workers are mainly women homemakers who do not have any employment. They buy the e-scrap, manually separate the metals in their own homes, and sell them back to the metal factories. The work is strenuous and generates a very small and unpredictable income. The women, with their families, handle small, complex parts with plastics and metals mixed, and with the likely presence of POPs, persistent organic pollutants, including PCB and PFOS. POP harms health and the environment by giving an array of problems for living cells, including negatively affecting species reproduction, and being persistent means that they do not break down and instead accumulate in nature. The workers lack knowledge of which components may be dangerous, and they do not have protective equipment or adequate tools, leading to frequent injuries to hands, eyes, and face. When metals have been derived, the remaining waste is thrown away or burnt along with the household waste. This poses dangers for the local environment and for the workers. In addition to POP pollution, there are plastics that produce toxic gases when burnt. Having better tools, personal protective equipment, training in the use of both tools and PPE, and training in recognizing hazardous materials, and finally, a disposal possibility for this material would benefit this community significantly and allow the workers to generate more income in a safer manner. Mooring ropes and plastic ropes have a limited lifetime. Due to safety, they will be used until a certain age and then replaced. Many end up as plastic in the ocean, and around the world's harbors, piles of discarded mooring ropes are a known problem. The volumes and lack of value don't tempt anyone to take responsibility. In Bhavnagar, these ropes are a resource. In a small factory, ropes are upcycled into plastic fabric for many purposes. The ropes are manually separated and cleaned. The factory is one of the few that provide jobs for women. The women are day workers, and there is no personal protective equipment or safety training provided for the various stages of the process. After cleaning the ropes in water mixed with strong alkaline chemicals, the material is dried in the open air and sun. The dry plastic is collected and taken to a nearby building, where it is melted into blocks. The plastic blocks are then ground into pellets, providing appropriate feed to the factory's thread-spinning mill. After coloring the plastic, it is heated and spun to thread. The thread is woven into new materials, bands, straps, and ribbons for different purposes, such as clothing accessories, decorations, mats, screens, bags, lounge chairs, etc. Recycling and upcycling is the true circular economy, and the Bhavnagar women organized by Siwa are making an important contribution to the reduction of the maritime industry's environmental footprint. Grieg Green and Self-Employed Women's Association believe that women should be supported to do this valuable work in a safe and environmentally sound manner, and together aim to establish training, PPE supplies, downstream waste handling, and allow these women to belong in a cooperative and have the opportunity of social benefits and health care. This is why Grieg Foundation support Grieg Green and Siwa's work for female workers in the downstream ship recycling industry in India.